I'm Wolf from Healing Wolf Coaching, here to transform with you on your journey of recovery and to guide you as best I know with my own experience and training. So let's take a deep breath in through the nose, pulling the energy into our chests and bellies, and then releasing through the mouth very slowly. Every morning, or almost every morning, I practice breath work, and it's a two-stage breath work where it's deep breathing and then breath holds. But you can also do just simple breathing. Exhaling more slowly than inhaling will drop your nervous system into parasympathetic or rest and digest mode. So that'll help calm things on your journey of chronic pain or recovery from anxiety and panic. So today, let's talk about how pain is a habit. Drew Coverdale has a great book called The Pain Habit, and in it he outlines the way that pain is really a habit. Chronic pain is a habit. It's a habit of mind, it's a habit of neurological functioning or unconscious mind functioning. So the brain thinks that certain movements or certain situations or certain triggers are worthy of protection. So the habit is to create that protection in the form of pain. And the way out of it is really fascinating because it's multi-tiered. It's like wandering through the jungle and you have lots of different possible paths to get to the other side of the jungle. And one of those paths that I use with clients is a deep connection with unconscious mind. So making some profound changes in unconscious mind. So going into altered states of mind and presenting mind with evidence of actual safety, with evidence of survival, which then cues unconscious mind to relax and release those protective sensations. Another way of doing it is on your own with repetition. It helps to have repetition with a partner, a coach as well, to really drive it deeper. Having that guidance can really make it happen faster and on a deeper level. But overall, when we're changing a habit, we don't expect the change to happen in a one-off fashion. The trigger can happen in a one-off fashion, in a quick fashion, because it's such a survival impact. So, for example, if you're out in the woods and there's a long log over a river and it's very narrow passage and you decide that you want to cross over that passage and you're going to walk on that log and you slip and you fall in the river, there's a survival instinct that kicks in unconscious mind that will then program any similar situation of walking across a river on a log as needing protection. Might be a surge of adrenaline, fear, memory, all kinds of pain, anxiety, whenever a situation like that presents. If you did survive, then that can get encoded with one repetition. So then how would you uncode that walking across that log on the river? Let's say you want to develop that skill of walking across a log on the river, and yes, you fell once. How would you do that? You would habituate yourself. You would create a habit of safety around walking across that log on the river. And it might require you to do it over and over. So in this example, it's a very real danger. In the case of chronic pain, usually it's just something simple. Like maybe at one point you bent over and there was some pain and then you avoided it for a while, creating more danger messages to unconscious mind. So if you want to then bend over and not experience that habitual impulse or trigger or sensation of pain, protective pain, then what you do is you'd repeat that pattern over and over and over. So back to the walking across the river example. Let's say that the water was very deep and the water was not moving much and there weren't any creatures in the water. It was an area where there weren't any predators in the water and you could swim really well. So it was relatively safe. And you know this consciously, but unconscious mind might not get it because you fell in before, it felt scary, you slipped, you fell, and there was a little element of danger, but there are many factors of safety there. It's deep water, it's not moving much, there's no predators. So consciously you'd be unwiring that habit by doing the thing over and over. So you'd be walking across that log and you'd be reminding yourself with affirmations or communications saying, if I fall, the water's soft, I can swim to the side and try again. So you give yourself this kind of a safety reappraisal, a safety reminder saying, I know that this is mostly a safe activity. And everything in life is mostly a safe activity, right? There are different gradations of it. There are different types of dangers. But in general, we're doing something that as we do it, if we have a trigger, then we're going to get protective sensations. And as we get those protective sensations, the way to unwind the habit is to create a new habit. So even with the example of crossing the river, you could create a new habit of moving across that log. Maybe you want to move across the log in a little bit different way. You want to go barefoot, or you want to tie a rope from tree to tree across, so you hold the rope. There are different ways of creating a habit, and if you walked across that, you could see this film called Man on Wire, where he trains himself to walk across truly dangerous situations across a wire from building to building, I think World Trade Center. But he trains his nervous system to have a habit of calm there, to have a habit of his mind knowing that he's okay to do it, like it's okay. Like he's done it 100 times and he can do it again. And when he does it again, it's going to be fine. So that's what we're dealing with when we have chronic pain or anxiety or panic. There's been a habit developed. There's a triggering mechanism, which is related to a lot of sensory input, usually sensory cues. So those sensory cues could just be the look of a situation. It could be that there's water. If it's anxiety, it could be a crowd. It could be a certain food. It could be a certain body position, especially with chronic pain, a certain activity that produced chronic pain at one point. Mind was scared, like working out a lot. If you're working out, you're doing a heavy lift, mind might send some extra sensation to protect you, to say, hey, don't do that, don't lift that way. Even though you're lifting in a safe way, you're not damaging your body in any way, you're fine. So to undo that habit, how do you do it? You lift. You can lift light, you can lift with safety, you could use a Smith machine, you can lift in many ways that would be safer. And that safety counts when you're forming a habit. So thinking about these neuroplastic conditions like chronic pain, anxiety, and panic, we focus on the plasticity of our minds. And the plasticity is beautiful because as we repeatedly do an activity and we survive that activity and we really recognize that we survive that and we even thrive through it, like we get stronger, we're able to cross a river to get to the other side and rejoice, celebrate it, feel good about it, reinforce it, especially intermittent reinforcement. And that's more of a psychology thing, but reinforcing that you did something that you want to become habitual, you want to become really normal. If you go into a jungle and there's a log across the river and there's a tribe that lives there and they cross that river all the time, they could probably do it with their eyes closed. It's perfectly safe for them and they never get chronic pain or anxiety about it. It's super easy, they're used to it. Animals are like that too. They go across the river, they're used to it. They do it 1,000 times. So it's about getting the message deep into unconscious mind, which a coach can help with that. And it's also about having the courage to show up and do the thing that the closest approximation to what's been your trigger and moving through that with what's called exposure. Graded exposure is little bits at a time with extra safety in terms of messaging to your conscious mind and other safety parameters. Flooding exposure is just going for it. Just even running across that log and you fall in, and if you fall in and you swim out and you're ready to do it again, then boom, that habit will form that crossing that log is safe, it's okay, and you'll get better and better and better at it. And that's what this journey is all about. It's about getting better at doing the things that used to trigger you. So you can teach your mind that you're actually safe, you're actually okay. And this applies to any kind of condition like this. So if it's gastritis, insomnia, chronic fatigue, whatever it is, this process works. This communicating deeply to unconscious mind and or repetition. Repetition with curiosity, repetition with courage, repetition with an attitude of, I'm going to do this a bunch of times. And it might not feel perfect in the beginning, but over time my mind is going to get bored, and then it's going to get confident. It's going to feel like this is something I've done so many times that I'm fine. Please subscribe to my channel. Please give me a thumbs up and a comment, and join me on Wednesday night, July 16th, 2025, 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time on Zoom. And the way you can sign up for that is go to my website, healingwolfcoaching.com, and click the link to sign my mailing list. And when you sign up for that, I'm going to send the Zoom link out. I'm going to send it today because it's a couple days away, and then I'll send it again day of. So sign up. You also get a meditation where you're actually doing a little bit of what we are talking about today, but instead of doing an action, you're programming your mind to create a new habit of allowing these sensations. When you allow the sensations, they're no longer a threat in themselves, and they fade away. So keep going. I love you. I know you can do this. I know you've got that courage to create new habits, to create that plasticity change in your mind, in your brain, and to fully recover. So keep going.